Good evening. I would like to call to order the Licensing Board of the City of West Bend. It is Monday, July 1st. Our first item of business is approval of the regular meeting Licensing Board minutes from June 17th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Zingsheim and Alderman Butchlick. Any comments, questions, corrections? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item of business is a Class A liquor combo and cigarette agent change at Kwik Trip number 1062.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Butchlick and Zingsheim. Any comments, questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Chief, if there are any of these that you need to speak on, please wave at me, but normally you notify me ahead of time, so we're okay. Okay, thank you. Our next item is Country Inn and Suites Class B beer and Class C wine license.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Zingsheim and Butchlick. Any comments, questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the Tower Heritage Center Class B Reserve Combo.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Butchlick and Zingsheim. Any comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, Class B Combo Reserve for Hair of the Dog Agent Change.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Zingsheim and Butchlick. Any comments, questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, Class B Combo Liquor License Renewals 2024 through 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Butchlick, Zingsheim. Any comments, questions, discussions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, Amusement Device License Renewals 2024-2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Zingsheim and Butchlick. Any comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The last one is Amusement Device New Licenses.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Butchlick. Second by Zingsheim. Any comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries, and we are adjourned.
I would like to call to order the City of West Bend Board of Public Works. We have 2 items on the agenda. Item number 1, approval of minutes from the regular meeting June 17, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments or corrections? There are none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2, award contract 2408, Repaint Latex Pavement Markings. Good evening, Max.
Good evening. Thank you. This item is to award a contract to reapply latex pavement markings over the worn and fading markings throughout the city and various streets. In 2022, we had issued a contract to do the entire city, and our plan after that was to do half the city, alternating the years, so half every other year. Unfortunately, we were not able to do any markings in 2023. We concentrated all our efforts on the downtown reconstruction. So this year, since we've done 2 years ago, we would like to reset and go with the entire city again, and starting next year, we'll do half, and we'll go on that rotation again. So we received 1 bid for the contract that we published for this work, and it was from Crowley Construction. And Crowley was the contractor who was awarded the contract in 2022. And they did a satisfactory job for this contract 2 years ago. We reviewed the bid. We know Crowley is able to perform the work. We run the estimate before based on the prices that we got from them in 2022, and the estimate at that point was $227,500. Their bid this year is $245,869.75. We noted increase on pretty much all the bid items across the board. Some items from 40 cents to 45 cents per lineal foot, some $1.95 to $2, etc. So basically, increases of 5 cents over their unit prices for the painting. But with that multiplied by the large quantities, that's what explains the difference between the prices from 2 years ago and the prices from this year. So given all that, we recommend that the board and council award this contract for the bid price of $245,869.75 with a contingency of $14,130.25, about 5.7% of the bid, for a total allocation not to exceed $260,000 for this project. And we would use engineering capital project funds for this project.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And who's second? Same sign? Okay, I didn't. Thank you. Any questions for Max? There are no questions. We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you,
Thank you.
Max. Being no further business before the Board of Public Works, I adjourn as chair.
I call to order the Finance Committee. We have 5 items on the agenda this evening. The first is the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on June 17th. Can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you, Bertquist and Allen. Any questions, comments, additions, deletions? None being stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second agenda item this evening is a resolution authorizing a transfer of PARC funds for street tree replacements. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, everyone. This evening, our department is requesting approval to transfer $9,879 from the PARC fund to a capital account for the planting of park trees. These trees are replacing ash trees in our different parks that were lost because of emerald ash borer. These funds were donated by Microsoft, Sunrise Rotary, and the West Bend Friends of Parks and Recreation. This year, we planted 46 park trees in Regner and Riverside Park, and we would utilize these funds to pay for those installations. The planting that we did this year was part of our annual street tree planting contract. Sometimes we piggyback park plantings with it. Obviously, we get a better price that way, combining them all in under one contract. So this evening, we're requesting to transfer those funds to cover those costs. Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Butchlick and Allen. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 on the agenda, resolution to accept donations to the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department. Good evening
you.
again, Mike.
This evening, we have some very impressive community donations to present to the council and to the city of West Bend. The first donation is of $5,000 donated by Bank 59 as a presenting sponsor for the 2024 Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. The second donation is $4,048.99, donated by Fox Brothers Piggly Wiggly Charity of the Month for our Special Olympics program. The third donation this evening is a $5,000 donation by Westbury Bank Charitable Foundation Board. This is the 4th payment of 5 for the beach house renovation project. The next collection of donations is three projects out at Lac La Rand Conservancy. The value of the 3 projects is $19,228. This is donated by the Friends of Lac La Rand Conservancy. The first project was the installation of another solar light in the parking lot out there. Our Friends group donated or paid for the equipment, which was $8,328, and our staff did the installation of that solar light. The second donation was a project for $7,400. This was the installation of a concrete ramp along the south side of the Marin Center. The Friends group hired a contractor, did the install of the ramp. Our staff went in, put the railing up, did the restoration. Again, a great partnership for us where the Friends group is doing a lot of the heavy lifting and our staff can jump on in and help out with some of these projects. And the last donation of $3,500 is for supply and installation of new hardware and locks and doors for the barn out at Lac Lorraine. Hired a contractor to come in, do that work. Our staff did some touch-up painting and some cosmetic work when that was all done. Again, huge thank you to our friends of the Conservancy out there. It's without that group, that Conservancy would be a completely different place. The next donation for this evening is $7,500, donated by Horicon Bank. This is for our July 4th fireworks, kind of an important aspect. Without Horicon Bank's continued support on an annual basis, we would have a box of sparklers. So without that sponsorship, July 4th would be a lot different. So again, thank you to Horicon Bank, and that organization has been sponsoring this for a number of years. The next donation, a value of $2,742.50, was donated by the West Bend Friends of Parks Recreation. This is for t-shirts for some of our different rec programs and things like that. Again, our friends group stepping in, helping out with some of our programming activities. And the last donation for this evening is a value of $1,300 for an AED that was donated by A&W Iron and Metal to be used out at Quas Creek, out at the softball complex. That was installed last week, so that is available for use out there. Hopefully, we never use it out there, but that's a facility where we put thousands of people on that property on an annual basis, and to have another step of safety out there is pretty important. So, again, we are very proud this evening to bring these donations to the council and the community itself. These organizations continue to support programs and events and projects, and many of these organizations do this annually, and we're very, very fortunate because this helps make West Bend a really awesome place to live. Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We'll go with Alderman Zingsheim and Alderwoman Sizer. Any questions or comments for Mike? I've got one comment for all the individuals, organizations, and businesses that continue to be as charitable as you are to our community. A huge thank you, and this is an impressive list of all three individual, organization, and businesses in our community. And this community, Mike, to your point, would not be what it is without their continued support.
Oh, it's pretty impressive, yeah.
All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Fourth item agenda this evening is a resolution to accept funds from the Washington County Municipal Radio Grant Program. Welcome, Chief Norn.
Good evening. How are you tonight? Tonight, the fire department is requesting approval to accept grant funding from Washington County in the form of a radio equipment grant. Request was for 11 portable radios and 2 single-head mobile radios under the program for a total grant funding of $85,400 for new radios for our fire department. This helps us put radios in new riding positions. We've been able to put into place with the additional staffing we've got has increased the amount of riding positions we have on the fire department and created a need for us to have more radios available on any given day.
I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Sparts and Alderman Allen. Any questions or comments? There being none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. The fifth item on this evening's agenda is a resolution accepting donations to the fire department.
And as well, the fire department is requesting acceptance of several donations. Again, these donations are part of Captain Aslan's ever-present efforts to make sure that everybody has functioning smoke, CO2, and combustible gas detectors in their homes to make sure that they're properly notified in an emergency. So we received $50 from Caitlin Riley, $100 from Jamie Dutcher, $50 from Carol Newberg, $200 from Amy Connell, and $100 from Brenda Crease. And we just would request that we accept those and put them in the fire smoke detector fund.
Motion to approve with the grateful thanks to the city and the fire department.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Allen and Alderman Zingsheim. And again, thank you to those who continue to contribute in the interest of safety here in our community. Any questions or comments? Otherwise, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. There being no further business before the Finance Committee, I adjourn as chair.
Good evening again. It is Monday, July 1st, 2024, and this is a meeting of the Common Council of the City of West Bend. More than 24 hours in advance of this meeting, notice of the time, place, date, and subject matter of the meeting was posted in accordance to Wisconsin state statutes. Clerk, can you please confirm this meeting was properly posted?
Yes, it has been.
Thank you. I invite you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We recognize a quorum of our Common Council tonight with all 8 members here present tonight. Before we get started tonight, I would like to express on behalf of the City of West Bend our sincere and deepest condolences to the family and friends and colleagues of Jonathan Delagrave. Jonathan was the Racine County executive who passed away suddenly on Friday morning. He began his career in 2003 in the county and held several positions in the Human Services Department, became director of that department in 2010, was elected county executive in April of 2015, re-elected in 2019, and then re-elected again in 2023. He was only 51 years old and was quite a presence and fixture and leader in the county, and so I just want to express again our deepest condolences to him, his family, friends, colleagues, and the entire community in Racine, and I ask that you keep him and family and friends in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Our first item of business tonight is the approval of our Common Council regular meeting minutes from June 17th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Allen and Alderwoman Sizer. Any comments, questions, corrections? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Our next item of business is a proclamation for Parks and Recreation Month. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Butchlick and Alderman Sternig. I'll read this proclamation. Whereas parks and recreation activities enhance the physical and mental health of individuals, workforces, and communities, and whereas park and recreation opportunities and open space enhance the desirability of communities as locations for business, industry, and residential housing, and whereas parks and open space are vital to the appearance and livability of communities, protect our air and water, and balance our ecosystem. And whereas it is the right of everyone, regardless of age, race, color, religion, gender, national origin, or ability, to participate in parks and recreation programs and activities and enjoy parks and open space. And whereas parks and recreation stimulate tourism revenues and the economic development of communities. Now therefore, I, Joel Longert, the mayor of the city of West Bend, do hereby proclaim July 2024 as Parks and Recreation Month in the city of West Bend. And I encourage all citizens of West Bend to participate in the many great special events and programs in our parks in the month of July and throughout the entire year. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to our consent agenda. These items were just taken up in the different committees that we just had, Public Works, Finance, and Licensing Board, items 2 through 13.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sure, we will pull out number 4 and vote on that one separately. So we will start with items 2, 3, and 5 through 13. Is there a motion on those?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Zingsheim and Alderman Allen. Any comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. And now we'll entertain a motion on the Tower Heritage Center for their Class B Reserve Combo license.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Bergquist and Alderman Allen. Any comments, questions, discussion? Alderman Sparts will abstain. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And one abstention. Motion carries. Our next item is going to be a discussion item tonight. We will not take action on this, and this involves the termination agreement between the Board of Regents and the City of West Bend, Washington County. Ian, I'll turn it over to you.
So I had hoped to have the final agreement to present to the board or to the council. I'm still waiting on the final changes from the county. People at conferences and out of town for vacations over the summer. So I'm anticipating we'll get that in the next week or two. This is essentially the agreement from the Board of Regents that terminates the leases, references all of those documents where we had the leases. So this, the agreement that was sent over was fairly straightforward, but I didn't see the final comments or changes that resulted from their legal counsel. Any comments their legal counsel had, or UWWC's legal counsel had. So I'm waiting on that. We left it on the agenda to kind of just have it because I know there's another executive committee meeting happened a couple weeks ago that addressed the same issue. I would renew essentially my recommendation previously, which is we don't have the final termination agreement from the Board of Regents. There hasn't been any discussion, since the last email where I had asked the county attorney to meet and basically was told that it was in the hands of the executive committee at this stage and that they didn't want to meet. So I would continue to just recommend that we recommend meeting at the staff level to discuss the details, and like we do with the developers agreements that are coming, that we're meeting in a closed session about, we handle these agreements at the staff and attorney level and then bring them back to advise council about the details at a later date.
Any comments, questions? Okay. All right. Alderman Butchlick?
Yep. I'm not sure, Ian, if you know what involvement is the city of West Bend with the university up with Board of Regents, since they're pulling out? Are we have any responsibility?
So this agreement is terminating their leases. So
Okay,
this
okay.
isn't what happens after they leave.
Okay,
This is just, they have left. Like the doors were shut and they are out of the building as of Friday. So this is terminating their lease because they had those
Okay.
long-term leases that went through multiple amendments throughout the years.
Right.
So this is addressing that. The other discussions are, that's
Coming
more of a
forward.
co-ownership issue than anything else.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Any more questions? Okay. We'll move on to the 2024-2025 election inspector appointments, and these were all listed in your packet. Clerk, I don't know if you have anything you want to add on these, and if not, that's okay.
Sure. We continue to add election inspectors onto our list, so we want to get these appointments approved before the next election, which is by state statute. We have to do this 30 days prior to the next election, which is August 13th. So our list will continue to grow, and so these will be coming again at the end of September.
Okay. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you, Alderman Zingsheim and Alderman Schmidt. Any final questions, comments, discussion? Mark? Okay, you look like you had a question.
No.
Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Motion carries. We'll move on to our reports tonight. Our first report is the library board meeting from June 18th.
Thank you, sir. The last meeting of the library board was held on June 18th. It was a meeting like any other meeting. We started with the Pledge of Allegiance and approval of the consent agenda. We heard the last month's financial report, and we also heard of Lucy Larson's donation to the Outreach Garden Memorial. Thank you, Lucy, for that. The library director's report included staff reports sent to us via email. Each department has now been delegated to report on what their department is doing, along with some activities conducted. Programs like the Know Your Government, Meet Your PARCs, and Free Coffee Friday are some very popular activities for adults. The Tech Services Department continues to catalog and RFID tag materials, while the Circulation Department worked on training and updating of procedures for new employees. The Youth Services, they prepared to build on a very successful spring period by concentrating on the summer reading program titled Adventure Begins at Your Library. Steve provided us some statistics that came across his desk concerning per capita support of public libraries. In 2022, the West Bend Library ranked 364th out of 382 libraries. In 2023, we climbed to 350 with a per capita support of $28.38. The state average is $56.35. Some other statistics include we ranked 10th out of 382 in library size, that's actual square footage of the building, which leads to increased maintenance costs. We ranked 22nd in the number of visits. The more visitors equals more wear and tear on facilities. We ranked 20th in the terms of circulation. That means items being checked in and out. Okay. Again, the lesson here is the West Bend Library is doing a tremendous job providing services with their available assets. Okay. Agenda item for consideration included discussion about board practices of utilizing restricted fund balances versus undesignated fund balances, which have a greater accessibility. There were some projects that are coming up that weren't budgeted for, but were authorized by the board using available fund balances. Things like blinds and camera systems are just two of the projects that are mentioned. The next meeting is scheduled for the 16th of July. Be sure to check out the library's social media accounts for details on upcoming upcoming events. And I know Mark really wants to get involved in the foam party August 1st. The foam party, that's always a good draw. So that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Our next report is for the Joint Review Board held on June 24th. That's a meeting where there's a representative from Marine Park Technical College, the West Bend School District, the county. I represent the city, and there's a community member. And it's an annual meeting that's held to review kind of the overall health and status of our TID districts. And so there was no action taken at this meeting. It was a review of all the different TID districts, and John and Jay and the gang did a great job, really a very professional job of presenting all of that information. They got compliments because several of those members also attend those types of meetings in other communities. And they said that ours was very well put together and very well done. There is an item looking at TID number, say again?
TID 16.
TID 16, which is the Sand Drive TID. And an idea has come forward of possibly extending the boundaries of that TID to include Indiana to the north of Decorah to do a possible renovation of that road. That TID 16 is doing quite well, very well financially, and if it needs to come in front of the Plan Commission first, which will happen tomorrow night, and then it has to come in front of that same Joint Review Board again, I don't think it comes in front of the council, does it?
It's not technically an extension, it's a project plan amendment.
Project plan amendment.
Yeah.
To incorporate Indiana. So am I saying all that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So again, there was no action on that. It still needs to go through approvals of a couple different commissions and things, but that was also discussed. Any questions? Yep.
Yeah, how far down Indiana were you looking to
Go ahead.
take the
I
improvement?
don't want to say the wrong
To
thing.
Kilbourne.
Okay.
To Kilbourne.
I have a binder on my desk in the office of all of the TIDs and all of that data that was discussed at this meeting. And if anyone's interested, feel free to go upstairs and grab it. And you can, all the information is posted as well. But if you want a hard copy, you're welcome to grab it. So, any other questions? If not, we'll move on to our Parks and Rec Commission meeting held on June 27th.
Okay, Park and Rec met on Thursday, June 27th. They had an upgrade or a report on the Aquaglide inflatables at Regner. They're doing very well. They had 981 users in the first 16 days, averaging about 60 per day. The first 16 days, just to compare, the first 16 days it was in use last year, gross proceeds for the park were $18,150. This year, the first 16 days, the gross was $26,150, so brought in a lot more money in the first 16 days. They have it structured so it's 4 two-hour sessions. They can only accommodate 30 people in one session. Now, they are looking at expanding next year. A larger Aquaglide system would actually support 145 people in each session. So with the increase in fees, that would help the park a lot. There was a question about the average life expectancy of the units. He said there's about a 3-year warranty, but an average life of 5 to 7 years for those units. The bike trail at Regner Park is complete, other than a few fine points like some signage. It's used often. One day last week, they had 50 people on the trail from the NICGA group. That's the National Interscholastic Cycling Association, in case you want to know. The Conservation Department has been busy planting trees. They've done 270 plus, primarily along the Riverwalk and in Regner. They've also received a $25,000 forestry grant to put ID tags on and QR codes on 138 trees. So citizens can check out the trees, see if they would be suitable for their yard, and kind of compare. Lac La Ronde, Mike already mentioned the ramp that was built. They also mentioned that they harvested a number of black walnut trees. Those will be used for construction at the new nature playground. The proposed recreation fees for the fall 2024 session were presented. There are a few slight structural changes on some, but most of them have no change in cost. Events, Beer Garden was held, 2-day event. Unfortunately, with the rain, it ended up being a 1-day event, but they did net $3,000 on that one day that they were open. So that's still a good thing. Lots of things coming up. Busy for the summer. Dirty Ninja Mid-Run, of course, July 20th. They had just under 2,000 registered as of last Thursday. They're hoping, or they have a goal of about 2,500. So I don't know what it is today, but I'm sure they're making progress on that. German Nights coming up July 17th. Regner Fest, July 19th to the 20th. And of course, Cash Bash for the city is coming up August 9 to 11. German Fest, 23rd to the 25th of August. So very busy summer in West Bend. Thank you to the Park and Rec for everything you do. And that's my report.
Thank you, Alderwoman Sizer. Any questions? All right. Any other announcements for the good of the order? Alderman Allen.
Bid board meeting tomorrow morning right here, 8:15 a.m.
Thank you. Alderman Butchlick.
4th of July parade and a big park down there. And don't forget about the fireworks again. Shout out to Horoikon Bank for donating their money for the fireworks. That's especially excellent, the way the kids look forward to the fireworks.
Any other announcements? Hopefully you received an email from me about the parade. I would love for you to walk in the parade with me and my family. And like I said, bring your neighbors, your kids, your grandkids. The more the merrier. I understand Alderman Allen's going to be judging ducks, and so he's going to be down at the park. And Alderman Butchlick's usually in the color guard. I assume you will be.
I'm sorry, this year my granddaughter is going to be playing in the Nationals volleyball tournament in Las Vegas, so I will be down there.
You'll be out of town.
So exciting, and looking forward to coming back with a
good luck
medal.
The rest of you, I'd love to have you join me kind of in front of Badger. I'll be out there early, but 9:15, parade kicks off at 9:30. I've got candy to hand out. The Plan Commission meets tomorrow night right here at 6 o'clock. Our next Common Council meeting is July 15th. I want to put in another plug for German Night on July 17th, because that's an appreciation night for all the folks who serve in the different committees and commissions. They've all been invited. They're provided with a meal and a couple of drink tickets. And so I'd love to have all of us there to thank those folks who serve on the different committees and commissions in the city. Something else I want to make you aware of. We had a pretty exciting morning this morning. We got a call Wednesday afternoon that the governor wanted to come visit West Bend. And he was here specifically to look at the projects that we're working on in our water utility. The granular activated carbon plant that's under construction, well number 4 that is currently shut down because of PFAS issues, a lot of testing going on in the well. He visited Eau Claire and another community as well today on those issues. It was a very casual visit. Our team represented extremely well. We started the day by bringing him into the beach house. Just had a quick chat. Travis with the water utility talked to him about what we were doing in those 2 facilities. We also used any time we could with him to talk about our needs as far as roads. Jess talked about the bounce back grants that we've utilized, and we're hoping to get some more funds for that. Then Mike talked a lot about, it was just such a beautiful morning. He was standing out there looking at the swim pond and just talking about how gorgeous the park was. And Mike was able to talk a lot about the Parks and Rec department and the Dirty Ninja Mud Run and things like that. We went over to well number 4 quickly, went over to the construction site. He was here for just over an hour, and then he was out. But you will probably see an article about it in the paper. I would have loved to have had all of you there. It wasn't appropriate to have all of us there. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. I apologize for that. I asked him several times to come back to the city, and we could easily fill up a full day of showing him all the great things that go on around here. We only had an hour. Our team represented extremely well, but want to make you aware of that. It was a successful visit. Anything else you want to add as far as that goes? Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. We do have an item appropriate for closed session tonight. I'll pause if there are any other announcements before I read this motion. Okay. We need to entertain a motion to adjourn into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.851E, which is deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, namely review draft developers agreements for Iron Horse Commons LLC and Decorah Flats LLC.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Allen and Alderman Sternig. I will call the roll. Alderman Schmidt.
Aye.
Aye is fine, yep. Alderman Sternig.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sizer.
Aye.
Alderman Berquist.
Aye.
Alderman Zingsheim.
Aye.
Alderman Sparts. Alderman Putchlick.
Aye.
And Alderman Allen.
Aye.
We are now in closed session. We do not anticipate coming back for any action, and so we will adjourn this public meeting in closed session, and we're going to go upstairs in the conference room for this.